Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing our second palette from the Vault collection. This one is Armed and Gorgeous, and this is like the army and like orange palette. If you haven't seen it already, this is how it looks. This one's definitely not my favorite palette out of all of them, but I didn't really love how this look came out, but my mom absolutely loved it, so I had to post it for her. Of course, I was going to do another look, but she liked how it looked, and I used a lot of the colors in the palette, so I'm going to, of course, not, you guys are seeing this, so of course I posted it, but I actually did more of a full face look for this video. I did foundation, bronzer, concealer, and highlight. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I did the Bretman Morphe highlighter palette, and I love it. I love highlighter. I just don't use it a lot, which I should. But if you guys want to see how I created this look and how I did my face for this video, then keep on watching. Thanks for all the support, guys, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and keep on watching. So first we're starting in with our brows, just filling them in as always with our Anastasia dip brow in shade medium brown. Just filling those in, and then once we're happy with how they look, we're going to grab your favorite concealer. I always use Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define, and the shade is way too light for me, but I don't have a new one yet, so we're just going to go with it and just blend that in around your brows the way you like it. Now we're just going to grab our NYX primer and put that all over both of our lids and blend it all the way to our brow bone and all over our lids, and just blend that into our concealer. Starting off for this look, we're going to go into Proud, the darkest shade in the palette, and we're going to start off with patting that shade right into our crease and then blending it out into our crease and upwards. And this shade was actually pretty hard to blend. Not too sure if it's because it's such a dark shade, but usually I don't have hard with dark shades, but I know this palette is kind of iffy compared to the other Jaclyn Hill palettes, but compared to other Morphe shades, it's nothing like them, so this shade is definitely not the best. Next, we're going into Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal is a medium brown shade in the pan, but once you put it on the eye, it's much darker, and it actually looks much like Proud. This shade blends just fine, but it blends right into Prowl, and you can't really tell the difference between the two. And I had to use the next shade to lighten it down, just so it doesn't look like one big blob of the same color. So now we're going into Agent, which is the lighter caramel, maybe yellow undertone shade. And we're just blending that right underneath our brow bone, and that is going into Smooth Criminal, which helps lighten that shade quite a bit, since this eye looks a lot darker than I intended it to look. I was kind of not going for a dark eye. I was kind of wanting it to be lighter, even though I used the darkest shades in the palette, but that's just how it ended up turning out to be, since these shades turned out darker than they look in the pan, but it's okay. This shade actually blended really well. And now we're going to cut our crease with Drug Lord, the Jeffree Star Liquid Lip. And I would say, since I started YouTube, my cut creases have improved very much so. Still have a lot more room for improvement, but I actually did 2 coats since I wanted it to be a brighter white, and these shades are so dark, so I just went ahead and put another coat on. Now we're just gonna grab Top Secret and put that all over our crease and just coat that And this color blended fine. I mean, of course it should because it has a perfectly covered base, so if it didn't, it would be a problem. But I had no issue with it. I just pack it on pretty heavy. I didn't know if I was going to do a matte look at this point or if I was going to do a shimmer look, but once I put the shade down, I knew I needed glitter to it to make it not so dark. At this point in the look, I don't know if I want to give up or if I just want to wipe it off. Does anybody else ever get at this point? But now we're going to grab Classified. It's more of the gold, maybe rose gold, maybe not rose gold glitter. And I decided to spray it just to give it more of a more shimmery look. And we're going to put that right on top of Top Secret. I decided to add coin as well, just to give it a little bit of extra glitter to the eye look. And we're going to start in the middle of the lid. Of course, we sprayed it. And start in the middle of the lid and then go to the inner corner and then just pat it in. Now I just went ahead and grabbed a Stila glitter and put that for my inner corner. And these are great for inner corners. They're really bold and I love them. And now we're just going to move into foundation. And here I realized I forgot to put on primer. I was so upset, so I had to wipe off my foundation with a little bit of makeup remover, and then I go ahead and find my primer. So I'm going to use this e.l.f. primer. This primer is really good. It smells like watermelon. I love it. I've used it a couple times. This is usually the only primer I use. Not that I do my foundation a lot. I rarely ever do it. But when I do, I always grab this foundation mostly because it smells really good. But I'm not really the best person to ask about foundation since I never do it. But if you like a primer that smells good, I would recommend this. And then I'm going in with my Wet n Wild foundation. The shade is definitely too light for me, but only foundation I have, so going in with my Morphe beauty sponge and just blending that everywhere. And make sure you get your ears and don't forget your neck because you want to make sure it blends 100%. So just blend, me getting my neck. There we go. I look angry. I'm realizing how light it is. That's what it is. You're supposed to make yourself look tan, not look lighter than you are, but gotta work with your quarantine supplies. I'm just finishing up on foundation. Make sure I'm getting my neck really well. I always want to blend down your neck, and now I think it looks pretty good. So we're gonna move on to concealer. I had to try out 3 different shades to figure out which one I liked. I tried 2 different color pops. This is my second one. Was still a little bit too dark than what I wanted. So now I'm moving on to my Makeup Revolution one, and that still wasn't good enough. So now I'm going to a shade just a little bit lighter. This is the one I usually use, so I don't know why I didn't just try this one first, but it's fine. Now I'm just going to go ahead and blend that down a little bit on my nose, and it ended up looking just fine, I think. And blend all the way out. The one side was a little bit harder to blend than the other, but turned out okay. I always think when I'm blending out my makeup, it always looks like I'm hitting my face so hard. Looks good. Okay. And now I'm bake under our eyes with our baking powder. Alright, so we're just gonna finish up baking, putting that powder on our nose, all under our eyes, and a little bit on our bridge of our nose. And now we're gonna go straight into a little bit of bronzer. I'm trying to bronze up my forehead just to make it look a little bit smaller since my forehead is so big. And then just a little bit on our cheeks and the bottom of our neck, and that should cover it. I did a lot on my forehead just to make it look a little bit smaller. And then now we're going to wipe off the powder under our eyes just to get rid of that. It should brighten up our under eyes a lot. I think it made me look a little bit too brightened, but that's okay. Moving on to my Fit Me Maybelline powder, and we're going to put that all over. And this is actually one shade darker than my foundation, so this actually helped give me my true color, which was actually nice. And put this all over. And I remembered I forgot highlight, so we're going to our Morphe and Bretman. So we're using our Morphe and Bretman palette, and I used a fan brush. Didn't really like how that worked, but I kept trying to use that. It's just the brush because I know this palette is amazing, so I'm just going to switch and use a better brush and use that pigment. Look at my nose, it looks great. Look at this cheek, it looks a lot better. Did the nose again, right above my lip. Sometimes I do my ears. I don't know if anybody else does that. Bretman did it once in one of his videos. Now I'm going to do right up underneath my brow bone, and it looks good, all done. And now we're going to do roller lashes, Jeffree Star approved, all done with that. And now I am going to set my face after I touch up my mascara. So spray, last spray, I got some in my eyes, left my eyes too early, let that dry. And I hate when I have foundation on my lips, so I'm just going to wipe that off, and this look is finished. Alright guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and you guys know how I feel about the Armed and Gorgeous palette. It wasn't too bad, it's just I had a couple troubles blending out Smooth, Criminal, and a couple of the darker shades, but in the end, the look didn't turn out too bad. I mean, my mom likes it, so that's really all that matters. She always says some of my looks aren't her favorites, but of course she supports me, which is all that matters. But well, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.